Hi there. In the early days of space exploration, there was a very cruel and crude experiment carried out where astronauts, budding astronauts on the ground, apprentices if you like, were forced to wear goggles 24/7 for a couple of months. And these goggles had convex mirrors in them which turned everything upside down. So that's the environment they had to live in. This was a crude experiment to see what space, being cooped up in a space station for months on end, would do to mind and body. But an unusual thing happened, or something unexpected happened. By day 27, one of them reported that they were seeing everything the right way up again, and by day 35, everyone although they were looking through these goggles, they could see things upright again. So what happened was the subconscious began to rightify what it could and compensate it for these goggles, and more or less said to NASA, enough is enough. And from that it has been theorized, or become more popular, that we should concentrate really on the first 4 inches, whether we're an athlete or in business, because the subconscious dictates an awful lot of how we behave. There's a lot of trash in there, and it can always also be put to good use to do the things that we automatically do, the things that we don't have to think about, like cycling a bicycle or driving a car. And the more of that that's embedded in the subconscious, and the less trash that's in the subconscious, the more we can use the conscious then to be for our creative selves, to be able to think about new ideas and to be able to run our businesses more efficiently. And this is paramount for athletes who do an awful lot of what they do is repetitive in training and that. And Greg Louganis brought it a step further. He was an Olympic diver, but he started off life as a performer, as a child prodigy, if you like, as a dancer. He and his partner, even from 3 years of age, they were winning tournaments in dance. And his teacher was preparing him for an important competition one night. She realised if she kept putting him through his paces that the little fellow would get tired. He wouldn't be, he'd lie down on stage and maybe go to sleep. So she sat him in a chair and asked him to go through the performance in his own mind. She played the music, and they did this several times. And he eventually, when it came to the crunch, he had a flawless performance that night. And this is a system that he brought with him in his diving career. He began diving because they had a pool in the backyard, and he started emulating divers that he saw on television. So his mother said she better get him training or he'd do damage to himself. And then they realised after training that what he could achieve. But he said he was never competing against anyone. It was always a performance. And he used visualization quite a lot to get the best performance from himself. Coaching and psychology in sport has moved seamlessly to the corporate meeting rooms, because much the same challenges occur, except that with meetings and with corporate decisions, it's all full on. With an athlete, most of your time is training. The performance is very little of your time, and there's a good bit of downtime. But in business, it's all a performance. Very little time for training, and we neglect it in not allowing ourselves more time for training, more time for visualization, and to be more aware of the subconscious and the conscious. So, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about my theories about leadership, do get in touch.